Hello, everybody, and welcome into this week's 30 Minutes program. I'm really excited to be with the Ag Commissioner of the state of Tennessee, who will be retiring very soon, and he is Charlie Hatcher. And one of the things that I like about him, he is one of the most likable people I have met for the very first time, and he is the most down-to-earth person I think I've ever met. And you are a doctor, veterinarian.
That's right. Trained veterinarian, went to University of Tennessee, graduated in 1984.
How old are you now? You look so young. You look like you're in your 40s.
Wow. Where can I kiss you? So I'm actually 67, but this is what whole milk can do for you.
Oh, I love milk.
In hard farm working.
I love milk. I've told you about me milking cows. I also told you of some of the other things that I've done. And here you are after how many years?
Well, it's coming up on 7, so I'm going to miss that by a few months. But
you're retiring.
I'm retiring at the end of the month or the first of next month, so by October 1st. And then Andy Holt, our current deputy, will take over the role as commissioner, and Governor Lee made that appointment today. Well,
you have, in fact, known Andy Holt for a while. And you think he's pretty good at what he does, and or you wouldn't have named him as a deputy?
Well, that's correct. I mean, Andy, he and I worked together a little bit when he was a legislator, and we had some good conversations, and one thing led to another, and he came into the department, and for a while there, he was assistant commissioner of business development. And then when Jeff Aiken, former deputy commissioner who was the president of Farm Bureau, when he had to go back to his farm, then that seemed like an obvious choice for me as deputy.
So you're retiring, and you look back for a number of years. What do you think you've accomplished?
Well, it's not me. It's, it started with the governor. So he selected me and put that kind of faith in me. And then it's been a pretty heavy crown for me because I am a farmer. I'm a dairy farmer. That's probably one of the hardest ways to make a living there is. So maybe you can question my intelligence. But he put that confidence in me, and he set the stage. And by that, I mean, he ran on rural matters. And that's what agriculture, the Department of Agriculture, the Tennessee Department of Agriculture also has forestry under it. And so actually forestry is in the definition of agriculture for the state of Tennessee. So they're really, when I say agriculture, I mean both. And I've been trained by my division of forestry people to say both because they're both hugely important. But so the governor runs on rural matters. And in rural communities, what do you see is opportunities for economic opportunities and opportunities in general are usually two things. They're farms, which are family farms, and also trees. We have more trees than we did 50 years ago. And so those natural resources, which the governor put a lot of emphasis on, and he is a beef cattle farmer.
Oh, yeah, he loves his cows.
And so he is, like today, I mean, we were on a farm. First thing he wanted to do is look at the beef cattle in the pasture. And so he went with that farmer and walked through the fields with the farmer. So that's a bit unusual for a governor, but we've got a good one. And so he set the stage for everything that followed. And then along came COVID. If you remember that was kind of a hard time. So that was a period of time where we had to hunker down, and farmers were considered essential, right, as they should be for food production. And so we navigated that successfully. But I'd say the thing that we've accomplished together with all the stakeholders, and all the stakeholders, Tennessee has got a really good thing going here as far as collaboration from the General Assembly to Farm Bureau, to Tennessee Farmers Co-op, to TSU, to all the different stakeholders. We tend to collaborate well together.
You are a doctor. When did you become a veterinarian?
In 1984, I graduated from University of Tennessee in Knoxville.
What made you want to become a vet? And you got a farm.
I was one of those. I knew early on when I was in third grade I wanted to be a veterinarian. And
was it because of dogs and cats or cows and horses?
It was all of it. You know, a lot of kids, they say they love animals, and I was the same way. And I just felt a calling to do it, and it worked out. It wasn't easy for me. I applied for vet school 3 times and got in the last time as an alternate. So I didn't know I was going to be in the class, that class, until somebody canceled out or had a better opportunity. And so I was at the very bottom of the class to start with.
So you became a veterinarian, but you were also a farmer. Is that right?
That's true. So I became a veterinarian, and I at that time the one of the best dairy veterinarians in the country was Jinx Britt in Kentucky, and I had done an externship with him when I was in vet school, and by late 1984 or early 1985, he called me and said, "Hey, would you like to work for us?" And that was in Russellville, Kentucky. And I was in Russellville, Kentucky for almost a decade, from 1985 until 93-ish, so almost a decade. And that's where I learned, I honed my skills as a veterinarian and was a pretty good practitioner in livestock.
Mm-hmm. So your family row crops?
No, family does not row crops. So it's Hatcher Family Dairy, and so Hatchers have been in Tennessee in Williamson County since 1819.
Wow.
We've been on some of the land that we farm today as a dairy farm since 1847. So we've been there a while.
You know, I mentioned this to you earlier. We had approximately 100 milking in Weakley County in 1981. And I think we may have 2 now in Weakley County. What's happened?
Gosh, that's a good question. So we were talking earlier that I was telling somebody earlier, in 1964, there were 17,000 dairy cows in Williamson County alone.
It's almost impossible to fathom.
Yeah. And now there's 200. So just think about that. So back in the day, there were a lot of dairy cows. They might have had a few or 1 or 2 or a handful, and there were grade B dairies, and there was a lot of cheese manufacturers, and it was a different day and time back then. And that's gone away. We're down to somewhere under 100 active cow dairies in Tennessee, which kind of hurts me to say that, but and we're losing a lot of farmland in Tennessee. You know,
it's being sold off because people are wanting to build houses, and
that is because Tennessee is such a great place to live and work and play. And so it's not a bad thing to be in this position. We just need to be able to maybe slow the urbanization a little bit, because we don't want to get in a situation where we lose what makes Tennessee so unique, and that's the farmland and the forests. People like to have their house back up to a horse pasture or a cornfield or a cotton field. I mean, it just feels good. So the look and feel of Tennessee, and it's the number one industry in the state, is agriculture, and that defines Tennessee in every way.
If you've just joined us, we're talking with Ag Commissioner Tennessee, who is going to be retiring soon, Charlie Hatcher. And he also is a veterinarian. And this is our first time to sit down and visit and talk here in the studio today. And this is really, really good for me because I feel more revitalized about agriculture than
just like old times.
It is. I mean, once you go back into those old days. Let me just ask you a couple of questions that pertain to what I think is, where are we going in agriculture? Again, you've been through it now enough years, almost 8 years, and you are stepping down here on October 1 of this year, 2025. How is it going to be different in the next 10 years?
Oh, gosh, that's a loaded question. Let me address the current situation first. So 2023, 2024, according to USDA, were the largest back-to-back declines in net farm income in history.
And the reason for that?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. That's high input costs, agricultural trade deficit, interest rates, even though, depending on your perspective, they're twice what they were. I mean, I've lived through the days of late 70s and early 80s where we had interest rates of 18 to 21% and I paid a little bit of that. So that makes 8% look pretty good. But when you're paying 3.5% and it doubles and your payments go way up, and that it's a multitude of factors, but that's in 2025 is not looking any better. Although I saw a report the other day about there could be some gains made. The beef cattle industry is one of the lone bright spots in agriculture because beef cattle are record highs. Inventory is the lowest it's been in over 70 years, and so that's impacted that. But other parts of the ag economy are not in good shape, and especially row croppers. Looks like we could have a good crop, and that could lower commodity prices even more. But at the same time, I've seen some of the predictions. It looks like we're making slow strides to an increased or a better ag economy, and there's going to be some programs coming out of USDA that are going to backfill some of the losses.
Is the President of the United States helping farmers right now?
I think so. I mean, President Trump loves farmers. He likes them and respects them because they don't usually ask for any more than they need, and they work hard, and he respects that. Most farmers that I've talked to, we want fair and balanced trade. That's the end goal. And so that's what the hope is. And I think we're going to get there.
If you go back to when you were young, milking cows, you talked about this a moment ago. How has milking the dairy farmers, how have things changed technologically?
Oh, my goodness. So, I mean, just in my lifetime, my experience has been, we milked in a flat barn until, I think, the year 2000. You know what a flat barn is?
I know what a herringbone is.
Yeah, so a flat barn is just flat. So you'd have a head stanchion, and you'd catch their head, and you'd feed them feed, and we would apply the units. That was before we even had automatic takeoffs, and so we'd apply the units, and so it was a little bit backbreaking because you'd have to get almost down under the cow, and some of it could kick you off your feet. But then over the years, after that, my brother remodeled our flat barn, and we had a 6 parallel with a pit. And so that was big time.
That was big.
That was big time for us. And we had automatic takeoffs. And so one person could milk 100 cows in a couple hours. And that was huge. And then we made a decision, a year ago in March, to install milking robots. And so you're talking about artificial intelligence, and technology. It was a little scary, but we got in a situation where I woke up one morning. My wife had always been against investing in robots because they're really expensive, but I always wanted them. But I woke up one Sunday morning, looked outside, and the lights weren't on in the milk barn. And I woke her up. It was about 4:00 in the morning on Sunday morning. And I said, if you'll go get the cows up, that'll save me 30 minutes. I'll get the barn prepped and I'll start milking. And so I did that. I was going to turn the first row out. We had 6 on the side, so I turned 12 out. And I wanted to make sure I didn't commingle the ones I'd milked with the ones that needed to be milked. So she was shutting the holding pen gate, and she walked up the exit ramp, and she said, call the robot guy. And so if I'd have known it would be that easy, I should have just staged that a long time before. And so that's been over a year ago, March. So how long was that? It's not quite a year and a half. But
your wife is going to hear this now.
Well,
I just wanted you to know.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
And so that's changed our lives, because I think it's a good alternative for smaller family dairies where if you have trouble getting labor help, which that's kind of a skilled position, trying to get somebody that can milk a cow and take care of it
twice a day,
at least twice a day. And so we always had to have somebody available, and on weekends it was especially hard. We could get somebody to milk weekdays, wasn't that hard, but weekends it's family. So instead of Charlie emergency milking, now the robots do it all, which is totally, well, I say they do it all. It's not without maintenance and upkeep, but they do all the milking of the cows, which takes all that 8 hours that we used to do is gone.
How many cows are you milking?
I think this morning, I could look at my phone, I think close to 100, 99, 98, something like that.
How many baby calves do you have?
That's a good question, because I had to feed them last night. I have...
now, you got to listen to this. Now, wait a minute. Let me interrupt to our listeners. Here is the commissioner of agriculture, and he's out tending to his cows. And you think that these guys don't know what they're doing? I mean, I just want to tell you,
my family has never given me a break and had no respect at all. They don't care that I'm commissioner or not. So I fed the calves last night late because we had my granddaughter had a ball game, and I didn't get to feed the calves till.
What do you got, Holstein?
After 9 o'clock. So we have Holstein jerseys and some brown Swiss. We're leaning mainly Jersey now because they travel the hills well. So I got 12. To answer your question, I think there's 12 or 13 on milk.
You breed your own cows?
Yeah, we artificially inseminate. We have a black pole bull that we run with our heifers, but everything in the cow herd is bred artificially.
Yeah. So what do you do in Nashville? What do you do as the Commissioner of Agriculture?
That's a good question. So I would say within state, probably the Commissioner of Agriculture is one of the most traveled, because Tennessee is
so large.
Oh, well, it's wide. I mean, I think you can get to Canada quicker than you can go east to west. How long does it take to cross the state? If nonstop, what would it be? Is it 12, 13 hours, or?
I would say
11, 12-ish.
You're getting, you probably nailed it. I'm surprised you hadn't started from Memphis and get over there to East Tennessee up on the.
Yes, and so some days I might travel 450 miles.
By car, truck?
By car.
Yeah.
By car.
Yeah.
Now, if I can, I'll catch a ride with the governor. That's the best way, because then it doesn't come out of my budget.
Mm-hmm.
But so what does the Commissioner of Ag do? It's heavy as the crown. So the commissioner gets the credit or the blame for anything remotely associated with agriculture or forestry. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
So it may be the same for you and whatever in your position here at the station, but it's food safety, it's pesticide, it's chemicals, the amount of regulations, and it's working with all the federal agencies. It's weights and measures. It's every fuel pump has a Tennessee Department of Agriculture sticker on it that it's been inspected. Did you know that?
Including gasoline.
That's correct. And there's a lot of pumps at the Buc-ee's. And so we have the Division of Forestry, we have the business development, we have animal health. I was the state veterinarian prior to this role, so we're protecting the livestock. We're protecting trade. We're doing the international trade. We're encouraging international trade. It's lots of moving parts to what the Department of Agriculture does. So we impact every Tennessean every day if you eat or if you drive a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So food, fiber, energy, everything in between.
If you've just joined us, so we have about 10 minutes remaining on our program today. We're talking about the Tennessee State Commissioner of Agriculture, who's retiring at the end of September, first day of October. What would you do after you step down?
Golly, what? So I live on the dairy farm. You realize that, right?
I realize that.
And I'm a veterinarian.
And I realize that, yeah.
And my daughter's a veterinarian. And she is the second generation graduate from University of Tennessee College of Veterinary Medicine. And so I established the practice on the farm in 1992-ish. And she's running it. And so there's a pretty good chance I'll practice some. I'll be on the farm some, and I'll have more time to spend with grandkids. I got a fourth grandchild due in December. So,
boy or girl?
It's a girl.
Well, we'll put her to work.
Yeah. So everybody on this farm works. So all my kids and all my grandkids live on the same property.
All right. We got corn. We got beans. We got cotton.
Yep.
Canola. Keep going. I mean, we've got all
dairy products. We got beef. We're a cow calf state. We're a row crop state. We are a poultry state. We have state of Tennessee is responsible for much of the world's poultry meat genetics. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
So if you eat at Chick-fil-A or Kentucky Fried Chicken or have a nice whole chicken, you can thank some of the primary breeders or the poultry breeders in the state of Tennessee.
Are you involved in deer hunting in any way? In your position?
So we work close with TWRA, Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, and the Commissioner of Agriculture sits on the Wildlife Commission.
Mm-hmm.
And so we interact with them, and we have collaborated. Since I've been commissioner, I have regular meetings with the Commissioner of Environment Conservation and with the Director of Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency.
Mm-hmm.
And we're big buddies.
Deep down, I want you to tell me what the farmers are saying today.
There's kind of a dark cloud, except for the beef cattle industry. They're feeling the brunt of the current economic condition. And so I think they're not feeling too good. I'm fairly optimistic that farmers are resilient, so we'll come out of this one way or the other. But if you see a farmer, I think you should give them a hug and thank them for what they do, because they're in a tough spot, at least economically now, except for the beef cattle farmers. I mean, room for improvement in the pork industry, dairy industry. For sure, row crop is probably suffering the most right now, but current situation is not very good.
Commissioner, we have had a lot of water, in West Tennessee. And last year, a lot of water over there. I don't know what it's done to agriculture, but it has messed up a lot of things. We needed rain. We didn't need that much rain. Now we can't get any rain. It's God's will what is happening. We get that. But right now, the farmers are struggling because...
and farmers know that going in. The weather, we're always dependent on the weather. And so I talked with a farmer this morning in East Tennessee. They got 1.5 inches of rain.
Wow.
We are dry as a powder puff on our dairy farm. We've been feeding hay to the beef cattle and the dairy cattle for months. And so it's the same situation here. The farm that the governor and I were on previously today on a beef cattle pasture, it was just like a desert. So, and the ponds were about dried up. They're trying to look at alternative water sources. So, yeah, it seems like one extreme to another, right? You go from flooding to a drought, but that's kind of where we are.
What's the best part of your job?
The farmers. Meeting other farmers and seeing the satisfaction they have and what they're contributing to society in food and fiber and energy. these are people that are so motivated and want what's best for future generations, their kids and their grandkids. I mean, farmers are the salt of the earth, and the country needs to get back to that agricultural basis. I mean, it's a foundation of the state. It's a foundation of these rural communities. It's a foundation of the country. And our forefathers, many of them were farmers.
I asked you earlier about the gentleman that's going to succeed you, and that's Andy Holt. He was a state representative here, served on our county commission for a period of time. He's been an educator over here at Bethel University, and many other things that he has been involved in, and a very smart guy. Matter of fact, I think he's a really smart guy in what he's done for the Office of Agriculture in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts? Farmers
have good work ethic, and he's just like that. I work hard, but he can hang in there with me. So he's the right kind. He's highly motivated. He wants what's best for the industry. He's gonna have a lot of challenges coming up. The current farm situation, but we have a good strategy in place. We have a good long range plan. We have some good programs in place. And so if he can keep the pedal to the metal and keep pushing forward for the ag and forestry industries, I think we're going to be in good shape.
I've never asked this question, but how many people are in your office or under you?
There's about, full and part-time, somewhere around 700. There could be a little bit fewer than that or a little bit more than that, depending on the time of year, because we have some part-time firefighters that go into that equation. So,
and I've got to ask this one question. I've got to believe that you and the governor know how to talk the talk. There's some governors that probably wouldn't know much about agriculture, but I think Tennessee has been very fortunate to have a governor that understands agriculture.
Oh, I think you're probably understating that. I mean, that's been he set the table to what's been accomplished. And that's true. I mean, how many governors would go to a beef cattle farm or go to a farmer's market or actually work a farmer's market? And he's done that. And, even there are some states that are larger ag states in Tennessee, but there's none that are any more supportive of agriculture and forestry than Governor Bill Lee.
I'm going to give you the last question. I know you'll make it short. What did Governor Bill Lee tell you to do when he said, I want you to be my Commissioner of Agriculture?
Wow. Where did you get that question?
I'm not going to tell you where I got stuff. Go.
Well, he said, go out and meet the farmers and meet the people and go west.
Sounds just like him. You know, he wears boots all the time.
Yes. Yeah, he's the real deal.
This has been really, really cool to sit here and visit with you and getting to know you, even if it is for just a couple of more weeks. I've watched you. I've seen you. I know what you've been able to do, and I know the farmers appreciate someone just like you, particularly you, because they know they have a friend in Nashville.
Well, I appreciate them. I mean, that's what I've done it for, and it's been my great honor.
That's our program today. Hope you've enjoyed it. This has really been cool for me, and more importantly, to allow the Commissioner of Agriculture spent this much time with us today to talk about, his 7 years of being in the Agriculture Commission, and not only that, but he also is a very good veterinarian. I need to talk to you about my dog here before we leave. See you later. Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Charlie, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
That's our program today here on 30 Minutes. Paul Tinkle, pre-recorded here on WCMT.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.